Revelers. This is Off the Rails, Right versus Left, the podcast that we do because we think the left is evil. I'm Rob B.
And I'm Brad Lee.
And I'm Brian G.
And we are Off the Rails, Right versus Left. Again, we're doing this show because we think everybody needs to know that the left is evil.
Classic.
Welcome, revelers. It's Monday night. Kind of weird, but here we are. How you doing tonight, Brad?
I'm doing outstanding, Rob. How about yourself?
Not too bad. So, of course, as you guys know by now, I'm Rob B. And with me, as always,
Brad Lee.
And we're both down here in the free state of Texas. Luckily, we get to, for the most part, avoid all the liberal idiots. But we do still live in this nation. We are part of the greatest nation on earth and the greatest experiment in democracy that there's ever been, our great republic. And we're happy to be here with you guys. Before we start digging into what we're going to BS about tonight, make sure that you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and hit that little alarm bell so it lets you know every time we go live, whether you're joining us on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, wherever it is. Make sure that you're following us and getting the notification so you can join us. We've been promising we're going to try and do more content, and we're going to start trying to do more content. We're going to try for every day and see how it goes.
Yes, for at least for a half an hour, at least. So,
Brad wanted to talk about the Grammys, and basically I'm in the DGAF
yeah,
party on the Grammys, especially with Trevor Noah hosting. Like, the dude's not funny.
No, not at all.
And like, he thinks that he knows what black culture is because he happens to be black and living in America. But he's an African immigrant who's like many African immigrants that come here and are successful despite the fact that we're supposedly a racist nation.
Right.
Funny how that works. Turns out that it's only black Americans that are having this struggle, but we can't have an honest conversation about the root causes of that because you're racist if you say it's anything except them being black. So, strike one against the Grammys for that. Strike two, John Mayer and his standing, or John Legend maybe, and his standing ovation for the trans person that won an award.
No, that was Sam Smith.
Oh, Sam Smith. There we go.
Sam
yeah,
Smith,
another.
And then they had that stupid satanic ritual for his song, and then after the song was over, it was all the 65th annual Grammy Awards brought to you in part by who? Take a guess, Rob.
Soros?
Pfizer.
Of course. Can't get a more woke sponsor than that.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I heard someone was telling me today, he's like, I don't watch the Grammys, but this Sam Smith, he was good like when he first came out. I'm like, dude, I didn't know who Sam Smith was until like just within the last 2 weeks.
Okay, like in like 2000, he had a couple songs that were really good. He did the song, like there was another one that everybody else liked, like I think it was Stay With Me or something like that. But the song of his that I liked was I Know I'm Not the Only One. And then like most one-hit wonders, like the rest of his music's all trash. And then he's like
I'm
trying
gay.
to be relevant by saying, ooh, I'm gay.
Yeah.
And of course, nobody gives a shit. His music still sucks, so nobody's listening to him. So now he's trans.
Right. Yeah. Wearing a dress, just like that other stupid actor. What's his name or singer? Oh, I can't. He's from fucking London or Britain or some crap. I can't. He did that movie with what's her name? Gosh, I can't even. Dude,
yeah, I can't think of his name either. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He must not be that important if we can't remember his name.
Well, no, he won the Grammy for Artist of the Year.
Yeah, dude, I've heard the guy that we're talking about that we can't figure out his name. I've heard some of his music. He's a good artist, but just his beliefs and what he's doing, just all they're doing
Harry
is they're just
Styles.
doing this to sell more records.
Yeah,
And
it's Harry Styles. It's all a
yes,
show.
Harry
It's just like
Styles.
Madonna and her book Sex, and now Madonna trying to stay relevant with like basically publishing granny porn. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. What, she's like, is she 80? Is she in her 60s or her 80s?
Yeah.
She's gotta be her 60s. She can't be 80 yet.
Now, so here's one thing that I think is funny, since we're talking about how racist the United States is here. It's amazing that Beyonce, a powerful, amazing, talented Black woman, just set a record for the most Grammy wins ever. How does that happen in a racist country? Well, maybe we're not as racist as the left pretends. So, you know, here's my problem. Here's what I don't get about transgenders, okay? I don't get why the actual LGBT community, well, LGBT community supports the T and beyond.
A lot of them don't. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Well,
a lot of the
and then I don't
LGBT.
why feminists are on this boat either. Because, okay, so here, follow my train of thought here. Okay. So being gay isn't special enough. So then they have to have parades. And they get all this attention for all their pride parades, and they get Pride Month and all of this. And now it's not special enough. So now you have to be trans. And you know what's really funny? Like the gay pride parade in like New York this last year, like the three like main people in the parade were all trans people. So even, well, it was a lesbian, a trans woman, and a trans man. So being a gay man's not even good enough to be part of the rainbow community anymore.
No, you got to be a man who can be better than a woman.
So here's my thing. So you've got gay men. It's a deviation. Okay, I don't care if you want to be gay, but it's a deviation. We're biologically programmed to reproduce. If you prefer to mate with the same sex, whether you say it's biological or choice, either way, it's a deviation from nature. Okay, it's a sin according to the Bible. I don't hate the sinner. I don't care. Everybody sins. Okay, I'm not going to judge you for that. But if that's the choice that you're going to make in your life, or that's how you're going to live your life, I mean, we all have compulsions to do stuff we shouldn't do. Like I smoke, I'm addicted to sugar. You know what I mean? Like trying to get in shape, but God, I can't stay away from sugar and chocolate and soda, you know? But like you are expected to fight your impulses to go against what you're supposed to do. And that's where it comes in from like the Christian community about it being a sin. Nobody hates gay people. Nobody really cares what you do in your bedroom. It's just a sin, and we're not going to support sin. You know, if you're a robber, we're not going to support robbery because you identify as a robber and you choose to live your life as a robber. You know what I mean? So, but now being gay isn't good enough. So now they have to pretend to be a woman. So they're not gay anymore. They're just a trans woman. Well, no, you're still a gay dude. You're just in a dress. You're living drag all the time. You know what I mean? And like, if you look at every single trans woman, all they do is slap on a whole bunch of cliches that should be sexist as hell about women and say that makes them a woman.
Right.
And like that Dylan Dipwad like did a unboxing of tampons. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you don't know basic biology to know that that's stupid when you don't have a uterus?
Nope, he's a little well, confused. But you know, well, they all say keep the government out of my bedroom, keep your religion off my body, but then they want to shove it down our throat with parades.
Yeah, do what you want to do in your bedroom. I don't care. I'm libertarian. I say if you want to smoke crack in your bedroom, smoke crack in your bedroom, but don't leave the videos on your computer at a computer repair shop and then forget about it because of the anti-anxiety medication that you're taking because of your crack habit.
And then try to sue the people that disseminated that information on your laptop, and then say, well, just because we're filing this lawsuit does not mean that we're admitting that it's his laptop.
Right. So anyway, now women should be insulted because women are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Strongest man in the world is not shit compared to a woman, because the strongest man in the world cannot make a human being.
Nope.
But you know what we can do? We can be strong, we can be masculine, and we can protect the people that we rely on to continue our species, which is women. Real women, not men that can't handle that they're gay and have to pretend to be a woman. Not people that have to pretend to be a different gender because they have mental issues they're not getting treated for, and that's the outlet that they take because they're confused about their gender or their sex or their sexual identity or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And if you really want to like live your life as a woman, if you pass as a woman, I'm going to think you're a woman. But if you throw in my face that you're trans, I'm going to know you're a dude.
Right.
Okay? And that's just it. You know, you get shit like that hockey game, the transgender NHL started the transgender hockey league. And like they got so confusing about like the way they were describing it because a transgender woman checked a transgender man so hard they got knocked unconscious and had to go to the hospital. So what actually happened?
Wait a minute. Does that mean that men and women aren't equal?
There you go.
It's like, oh, okay. That's weird.
Oh,
Not really.
I'm gonna
I get what you're saying. And I'm being totally hyperbolic.
Yeah. So what literally happened, if you go purely biology, a 200-pound man body checked a 100-pound woman and knocked her the fuck out. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Fallon Fox and anyone she fights, a biological man with muscle density and bone density of a man is beating the shit out of a woman. How the fuck are fucking any feminists supporting this? How is any normal man supporting this? You're sitting there watching a man beat the shit out of a woman, and because he wants to pretend to be a girl, you're gonna support it, watch it, pay to watch it, or even like watch the commercials that are supporting it? Like, are you kidding me?
Dude,
okay, ridiculous. And then you get to the competition aspect. Okay, there's no difference between men and women. So why is it the top 100 women in the world would not even make the finals for the Olympics in the men's events?
Okay, yeah, and then here's another thing. Okay, people are like, "Oh, you're so brave because you're a man that wants to compete in women's sports." Where are the women transitioning to be men trying to compete in men's sports? It ain't gonna happen. Look at what happened, like you were just saying in the transgender hockey league. It's despicable. I don't see any females that want to be men trying to get into UFC to fight men. Why? Because women aren't completely stupid. They know that they're going to get their ass whooped by another man. They know there's a genetic difference.
Okay, rant for a minute, Brad. I'll be right back.
All right, so it's all just a bunch of BS. These freaking people this transgender crap is just driving me insane. And I had someone asking me today, who this Dylan Mulvaney is and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, you haven't been paying attention? Like, this guy's been around for a while. And they were like, well, how did he end up getting a meeting with the president? I'm like, well, you got two brain dead people coming together to meet to talk about their I'm Dylan Mulvaney and I'm transitioning to be a girl. Whatever. It's stupid. It's just ridiculous. I don't like it. I hate it. It makes me want to vomit every time I freaking see something about it. Anyways, that's enough. That's all I want to talk about stupid transgenderism. I guess I'm a transphobe if that's what you want to call me, but I'm not. I'm not afraid of any transgender. I'm not afraid of any homosexual. I'm not afraid of anything but death. And I'm really not afraid of that because I've had a pretty good life and I have a wonderful family, and that's about all I need in life right now. So, and I have a job, and we made our first penny on Rumble today, so that's pretty freaking cool. Let's see. We want to talk about the spy balloon. Which one are you talking about? The one over South America or the one that they just shot down? Well, let's talk about the ones that they're saying that the Trump administration had. Okay. So apparently they're saying that there was balloons that flew over United States airspace during the Trump administration, yet Bolton...
And that's been refuted.
Yes.
And if it did happen, they're saying the Pentagon never told the White House.
Exactly. And the Pentagon has admitted that, according to Daily Wire, that they didn't let the president know or the Trump administration know. And then they're saying we didn't detect it until after Trump had left office. BS. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If I took the drone that I had in my bedroom and started flying it around over by the airport, I guarantee you I would get in trouble for it.
Yeah,
So,
they're gonna shoot it down, and they ain't gonna wait until it's across the entire airport, much less the entire country, before they shoot it down.
Right, and their reasoning for not wanting to shoot it down while it was over the continental U.S. is ridiculous too, especially when it was over the Aleutian Islands or Montana. Oh, we can't.
Bro, okay, how much do you travel? Do you fly very often?
I've flown quite a bit.
Okay. When you look out the window of your plane, especially at night, it's really, really clear.
Mm-hmm.
This country is some cities, some towns, and like 90% of this country is fucking empty.
Exactly. Well, and when it was over Montana, do you know how many cities are in the state of Montana? Like 4 or 5?
I don't know, but there's no
Missoula, Billings, Helena. But anyways,
look at the forest even in New York. Look at the huge expanses of desert and wilderness even in California.
I know, but look, it came over through North Idaho, the Panhandle, and then it went over through Montana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Montana is known as what? Big Sky Country?
Yeah.
Is that because of the vast plains that expand as far as the eye can see? Yeah.
Something like that.
So,
and the giant mountain range.
So there's plenty of space over Montana. I know you didn't want to get them over the nuclear silos, which I understand, but still, there's more of Montana empty. Nebraska. We don't want to hurt any of the cornfields in Nebraska.
Dude, 90% of the islands in the Aleutian chain are unpopulated.
Exactly.
The entire state of Alaska has what, like 5 million or 4 million people, something like that, and it's 2.5 times the size of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It never even needed to make it to Canada. Then it got to Canada. Of course, Trudeau's a bitch. He's not going to do anything about it. But how the fuck did NORAD not take that down?
And Biden said that he ordered on Wednesday for them to shoot it down. Yeah, that's a bunch of BS. Biden, you're a foreign agent. You work for China. Just admit it. It's okay. You've committed treason, along with the guys in the Pentagon who failed to alert the Trump administration of the balloons that were flying around when he was in office. That's treason. If you're holding information, national security information from the president, it's treason, right?
Absolutely.
And then now tomorrow I'm gonna have to watch the stupid State of the Union address so I can come on Wednesday and bitch about all the lies that he told. Oh, did you hear that he just said that inflation was high when he took office? The month
1.4%.
1.4% the month that he was sworn into office. Biden lies, and Facebook.
Yeah, and the employment gains for the month of January that they're all so stoked for. It's the largest job gains. Do you know since when?
2008.
The January.
Since
the year January of 2021 when he took office.
Oh, right. Okay. So
So after that, it dropped down to something like 120,000, and it's been in the gutter ever since. And then he has his first good job report. Well, I have some questions. Are they taking into account the something like 100,000 people that have been laid off in the last month that aren't even eligible to apply for unemployment yet? When you get laid off, you're not immediately eligible to apply for unemployment, especially if you get a severance package.
Right. Yeah.
There are thousands of people that have been laid off in the last 2-3 months that would not qualify to file for unemployment, and the unemployment rate and the job gains and all of this shit, that doesn't even take that into account. People that your layoff date is February 1st, you still have a job, but there could be 150,000 people that don't. And then also take a look at what are they hiring for?
Right. Are these jobs that are now coming back due to the whole pandemic being over?
Well, there's partly that.
Right.
Like more and more restrictions are being released, and then are we adding a normal mix of jobs, or is it we're finally adding in some of the low paying wage or the low wage jobs that people haven't been going to work for since the pandemic? You know what I mean? Like every restaurant and shit's hiring and has been forever, but they couldn't hire anybody. But now that all the government money is finally coming to an end, they're starting to have to go back to work because world comes back. And then a lot of people, they were thinking like, they were getting all this money every month because of their child tax credits that Biden was like doling out. But now they're doing that, doing their taxes and finding out, oh shit, I'm not getting a big refund. I'm not getting a refund at all because they gave me that refund all throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, look, I didn't get any of the child credit this last year, and I still have to pay. I don't know how I ended up having to pay because usually I end up, saying that I want to pay.
Dude, I don't even want to talk about tax liabilities. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, I've never. Like, I would understand if I owned a house and stuff and needed to and then I had to pay, but
now, what they're trying to do with consumption tax.
I need Donald Trump's accountants.
Yeah, what they're trying to do with the consumption tax and getting rid of the IRS, I actually disagree with it.
No, it won't happen anyways.
Well, no, but I disagree with it anyways because the consumption tax is not fair. Because rich people spend 0.1% of their income and poor people spend 100% of their income. So the tax burden would shift to poor people. What I think they should do is a flat tax like they have, like, I'll use Russia as an example because they live there. They have like a flat tax that's like 15%. And for business profits, it's like 20%. And everybody pays that. There are no loopholes. There are no tax credits. You're not getting out of it. They don't need a bunch of IRS agents because, hey, you were paid fucking money. You need to pay it. So they have some agents to do audits, but they don't have a ton of them. And they don't have a whole lot. It's not very hard to process income tax returns because they literally, this is my income. Here's 15%.
Yeah, so then you wouldn't get any return, right?
Well, I mean, if you're working, then 15% of your income would be taken out during the course of the year. So what would you be getting a return for? Because there is no difference.
Right.
There's no adjustments, no modifications.
Right. It's
You're
all the
just
same.
paying 15%.
As well as everybody else.
Exactly.
Talk about paying your fair share. Let's decide what that would fair share is.
Now it would be hugely unpopular because the bottom 10% of earners, or I think it's like the bottom 23% of earners in this country, don't pay taxes, and the bottom 10% get a refund even though they paid no taxes.
That ain't right.
Yeah, it's welfare through the IRS. So it helped them skirt around the welfare reform laws that they passed by giving it to them through the IRS bureaucracy.
I would be down with that, but it's probably not going to happen because we have.
Yeah, I mean, it's what should happen, but then we can get rid of, well, not just 87,000 IRS agents. We could probably get rid of something like 260,000 IRS agents. There's already like 150,000 IRS agents. Why do we need another 87,000? Well, because they're monitoring every person in America that has over $600 in transactions. Hate to tell you guys, everybody has that. If you get food stamps, food benefits, you have over $600 in transactions in the year. And it's over the course of the year, period. So they're trying to go after everybody. They're not going after, despite the fact they say it's to get the billionaire corporations, they're not going after the billionaires and the corporations because those people have tax lawyers and they will tie up every tax dispute so long in court that it's going to cost the government more money to try and get the money than it's actually going to cost them or than they would have actually collected to begin with, which is why they don't sit there and hound and chase the companies and the billionaires unless they catch an actual error, in which case they send them a bill and the people pay the fucking discrepancy. But the reality is, every single time they pass any sort of law, they put in some tax loophole that benefits somebody who donated to their campaigns. And then all the rich people, not just the one that they set up, not just the one that helped them get elected, but everybody in that category is able to take advantage of it. And that's what Donald Trump was talking about. And somebody else was like, I was having a conversation. Somebody was bitching about the tax liability that Donald Trump was paying. Oh, he didn't pay income taxes for years. Okay. So here's the reason why. Okay. If you have $1 billion, right? And you're going to go in and buy a business for $1 billion. Okay. Are you going to be willing to risk that whole $1 billion if you can only write off $100,000 of your losses? Or are you more likely to do it and try and save the people's jobs and try and save the companies? And we're talking about thousands of workers.
Well, hundreds of thousands.
Well, no, for
tens
Trump
of thousands.
alone, for Trump alone, the money, most of the money he lost was trying to save those casinos in Atlantic City.
Right.
Okay. So he spent all this millions and millions of dollars. And the way the tax code works, you can write off all your losses, but you can only write off so much a year. But the rest of the losses kick forward to the next year until you've written off all of it. Okay. So if you don't have that, they're only going to risk 100,000 at a time. They're not going to risk millions at a time. Right. Okay. And in the meantime, those 10,000 employees that still had jobs, instead of being unemployed and on unemployment, because I don't know if you noticed, but Jersey ain't exactly a hustling, booming growth market. All of those people, instead of being unemployed, which ended up happening like 7 to 8 years later anyway, but all of those people ended up being able to keep jobs, and they were paying their income taxes. And the casinos kept paying their property taxes and their state level taxes and their municipal taxes. And they kept giving the people money that they could pump into the economy. So the grocery stores are paying their taxes and collecting sales taxes. So the car dealerships are collecting tax. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's the reason they allow rich people, when you invest your capital, to like write off the losses in order to make sure that they continue to spend the money. Otherwise, once you get to a certain point of richness where you don't need to work again, why would you keep doing it? Like they say that they're greedy and it's just beneficial for them. If you look at just basic greed, if you don't make it as easy as possible for them to make money, why would they keep pumping money into the economy so other people have the opportunity to make money? Yeah. So and so like, but if you go with the 15% flat tax, Donald J. Trump might not have put in as much of an investment as he did, but he definitely wouldn't have paid any taxes that year. But I'm actually okay with the business loss carryover. But I don't think there should be corporate taxes at all. Do you understand? If we did not have any corporate tax, and we just tax the employees, because like businesses, great, let them make money. If they pay out to their owners, the money's taxed. If they pay a dividend to shareholders, those are owners, the money's taxed.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? If
Right.
they don't, they're keeping the money. They're gonna invest it into creating more jobs and creating more taxpayers. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So if you do just a 15% income tax and have zero tax on corporations, you understand every major corporation in the world would want to headquarter in the United States, because we've got the best infrastructure in the world. We've got, for the most part, the best IT technology in the world. We've got like a fairly educated workforce, because yeah, there's some developing workforces. We got a lot of IT shit that goes through India, but they still have like a 40% illiteracy rate. You know, same thing with, you know, places like developing nations like the Philippines. And well, pretty much like most of the developing nations have very low literacy rates. So they're not really going to be a great place to have your company. And they have high corporate tax rates because they treat these economy driving machines like they're sucking up the resources, when in actually they're the ones creating all of the resources, all of the spending, all of the income.
Right.
So if we had a 0% tax rate on corporations, no other country has a 0% tax rate on corporations. Every fucking corporation in the world would want to be headquartered here. And guess what? They'd either be hiring Americans or bringing in new taxpayers for us.
Right. Which is good.
It's good for the economy. That's for damn sure.
Right.
So,
well,
I know we are like so far off the rails, but I don't know.
We didn't. No, look, dude, we didn't have a rail. We came on here wanted to just BS, so there was no rail.
Well, but I did put in the comments, Grammys. Do you give a? Oh yeah, and then I mentioned Biden. I forget what I called it. I was just being a smart ass about Biden got cracked, something like that.
So, man, dude, this morning there was some terrible stuff.
Oh yeah, and Hunter Biden would pay 15% on his pay-to-play schemes, because any money coming into your account's taxed.
Right, right.
So at least that criminal would have been paying taxes on it.
Yeah, right. Which he should have. He should have.
Yeah. So, and here's the other thing that I like. I like totally like all the reporting misses. Hunter Biden had somebody give him money to pay his tax bill. Mm-hmm. You know what the problem is with that, right?
What?
That $2.5 million to pay his tax bill is income.
Huh.
So how's he going to pay taxes on that? Yeah, it's just like if you win a car, yeah, great, you get to keep the car, but you have to pay taxes on it as income.
Well, unless it was gifted to him.
Yeah, but the limitation on gift from a person in a year is something like $15,000.
Oh, really? I'd say I didn't know that. I just knew that if someone gifted you, like,
dude,
when my wife and I bought my first house, we had to get $4,000. We had to have $4,000 in our savings account.
Right.
So we had to borrow the money. Well, I guess it was kind of a borrowed situation, but we had to have her aunt spot us the money, and then she had to say that it was a gift, and then we put it in our account, and then after the house closed, we gave them back the money.
Yeah, you borrowed the money.
Yeah. And they wanted it to be gifted so that it wouldn't have been taxable income. You know what I'm saying? Like you were just saying.
Well, but loan income wouldn't have been taxable anyways.
Well, no, I mean, it wasn't. Somebody would have saw us get all that money put into our bank from somebody else. So yeah, they had to say that it was a gift, so that they wouldn't try and take any money from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying from tax purposes, it's not income. It's no different than if you like literally borrowed money to buy a car, but you ended up having enough to pay cash, so you just put the money that you borrowed, because you don't actually borrow for the car, you just borrow the money from the bank and they take the car as collateral. So like if you actually had the money to buy the car, but they gave you the loan anyways, that money can go in your bank account. It's still not income because you have to pay it back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And then the money that you use to pay it back has already been taxed. God only knows how many times.
Well, you remember that one that I did the breakdown on every single dollar getting taxed like
Yes.
10
I was
times?
like, I was just going to say something about that. I was like, yeah, dude. I mean, that just reminds me of, I mean, you want to, some idiots on TikTok, this one girl was starting to be like, how come this dollar is taxed before I get it, and then when I go and try and buy something, it's taxed again? And I'm like, and then she just got lost and was just like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, you started working, you fucking retard, and now you're trying to understand monetary theory.
And you're a TikToker, so you're probably a liberal twit.
Exactly what it was. And she was like just so upset about how much taxes she had to pay and how many times her $1 was taxed. I'm like,
yeah, and that's actually, I mean, that again, so you want to slow down inflation, get rid of all corporate taxes.
right. Yeah.
The minute
corporations
you do that,
expand.
the minute you do that, you're going to pump a bunch more money into the economy. You're going to make it a lot easier for companies to expand, because you know what's really great? Money that they spend on expansion, it's no longer money that they profited and they have to get taxed on anyways. And if they're not getting taxed, who cares? They're just throwing money everywhere.
Yeah, and then that money is being taxed. The money
right,
that
and
they're
then the
throwing.
more jobs they create, the more money they make. And guess what? The people who run a company, their number one fiduciary responsibility is to generate more revenue. Like if you start a business and you hire somebody to run your business, what do you expect them to do for you? To take your business and make you as much money as possible. And that's what the people running the corporations are supposed to do for their shareholders. They're supposed to make them as much money as possible. And so all the regulations and limitations and taxes that our government keeps throwing on them, it keeps stifling out growth, stifling out expansion, stifling the job creation. So like, I mean, it's that's why I say, so like, the best thing that you can do to help people is give them the ability to take care of themselves. And the more money you take to do stuff from other people, the less money people are going to have to take care of themselves.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the dream countries that the Democrats dream of, well, while they're painting these pictures of, well, Sweden has free healthcare and free college and blah, 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 they forget to mention for every dollar that a Swedish citizen makes, the government is taking 75 cents of it. So if you make $1,000 a week, you're only taking home $250 if you live there. And if you actually somehow manage to scrape up the money to buy a car, that's a luxury. You're paying a 200% tax. So if you try and buy a $20,000 car, you're paying $40,000 in taxes. That car now costs $60,000. And when you go to resell it, guess what? The car is still only going to be worth like 2 years later, $15,000. And that person's going to have to pay $30,000 because of the luxury tax.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. That is ridiculous.
Dude, like life sucks in Scandinavia. Why do you think like something like 70% of their population's on antidepressants? Like, I love it. It's a beautiful country. The people are awesome. But I could never figure out why the people in Scandinavia are so happy and so friendly. It's because they're drugged to all hell. If they're high all the time, of course they're going to be friendly.
Right?
I'm just saying, like, potheads are useless in society, but you can get along well with them easily because they're too stoned to get upset about anything.
Right.
Unless somebody steals their dime bag, then they might get upset.
You took my antidepressants?
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, go be depressed somewhere else.
Yeah. So taxes and social systems, like, and it's the argument that like conservatives and libertarians are really bad at making, is that every freaking dime, like, so dude, the US government spends like $10,000 on a fucking hammer and $60,000 on a toilet seat. And these are the people that you want in charge of distributing your money to help other people. Fuck that. Let companies generate jobs so people can help themselves. And for the few people that actually cannot help themselves, then you go ahead and you still have nonprofit organizations. You give people that charitable giving tax write-off. That should be the only tax write-off, is charitable giving, but it has to be through actual legitimate nonprofit organizations. And that is the one thing auditors should be doing, is auditing to make sure that your donations are legit and the companies you're donating to are legit. No more fucking Clinton Foundation, no more Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that are just funneling money into their pockets from foreign governments and foreign interests and the WEF.
Yeah, or George Soros. I can't believe you didn't list him off first thing.
Well, I mean,
Any George Soros funded.
I don't think George Soros was a big contributor to the WEF. I think to the Clinton Foundation. I think the Clinton Foundation was primarily financed by foreign governments when she was the Secretary of State. And
well, no, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, some of the foundations that George Soros has founded, you know.
Yeah.
So that.
Whatever. And and what is this bullshit about a university that accepts public money refusing to show who's paying money to the university? Release the records, or you are cut off from government financing. No more Pell Grants, no more federal student loans. You are now FAFSA blacklisted. I guarantee you we're going to get those records real quick, and we're going to find out what countries are contributing to the miseducation and de-education of our population.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
So, and then the idea that this public university is supposed to be setting up a library. What's a library? It's a place where the public can go and see some shit. And yet they're revealing to show what any of the 180,000 or that, what is it, 1,800 boxes of documents are, like 250,000 documents. Are you fucking kidding me? I thought it's for a library. I've never heard of a library where you go to and they're just like, you can't see anything. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a different kind of library that I've never been aware of.
Hey, let us know in the chats. I see 4 people watching this. What do you think?
Yeah. For real, tell us what you guys think.
Or don't. There was 6, and then there was 3, and then there was 5.
Yeah, but, hey, I'm just happy that people are like listening to us bullshit. Cause
absolutely. Hey, man, I'm down to do this tomorrow. I got my little notebook. I'm gonna start taking notes for from the shows that I watched during the day, because I watched oh man, I was starting to think today that I need to stop listening to this fucking political bullshit all the time. But I'm like, no, I can't, because everybody wanted to talk about everybody on the Daily Wire just today started talking about what I was talking about at the end of the show on Saturday. And that was that poor little 9-year-old girl. And I'm like, oh man. And they all wanted to talk. The only person that didn't talk about it, and I was so thankful that he didn't, was Matt Walsh. I was like, thank God.
Wait, what 9-year-old?
Remember when I was the 9-year-old on the bus who got beat up by 2 black teenagers?
Oh, yeah.
In Miami-Dade County?
Okay, so I will have something that I'll attribute to that, though. Like, people in conservative media try to take the time to make sure they have all the facts before they talk about stuff.
Yeah, no, and it happened like probably after all their shows were done, because it really went viral over the weekend, which, you know, that's okay. But
so wait, are you saying that Brad Lee of Off the Rails, Right versus Left, scooped the Daily Wire on the story?
Yes, I did.
Fucking awesome, bro. I'm gonna pump that the next time we do a show. I'm putting in that. Like, the show hosted by Brad Lee, who outscooped the Daily Wire
on the beating of a no, jeez. The only reason I outscooped him is because I was watching the All American Savage show with John Burke. I recommend you guys go check out John Burke on Rumble. He's a great dude. He's a military. He was a drill sergeant in the Army. He's got a lot of hot takes. He's got a lot of foul language. He uses the word cunt a lot. And he always talks about how that's the reason they're not going to be on Fox. And every time I hear him, I'm like, oh, cringe, like cringe. Nobody wants to see you on Fox, dude. Nobody wants to see you on Fox. We like you just where you are. But he also does John Ross, where he does like stupid, like he does really. What he does is he provides commentary about the painting that he's going to do, and he makes these just stupid paintings, and he's dressed up like Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, yeah, Bob Ross.
And he makes like Ukraine yellow, Black Lives Matter black, AOC red
Antifa black
as his colors and stuff. And then he makes these little paintings, and he knows that he's not good at painting, but he does it. And then at the end, he'll like do this little thing where he reveals from the painting that he did, and then it'll be something like AOC or Bernie Sanders. Like Bernie Sanders is trying to sell tickets through Ticketmaster for $95 a ticket to help promote his book, and then he wants his book about capitalism as he's being a capitalist.
Yeah, and you know it was great when somebody like called him on it. He's like, "It's the fruits of my labor." Thank you, Bernie. Welcome to the free market capitalism.
Yes, right. How could somebody so stupid get any stupider?
And did you notice that he's like trying to pump up like he's gonna run for president again?
Dude, he's gonna have a heart attack on the debate stage, man.
Hey, that would be good TV. That
would be good TV. Yeah.
Is that Sweeps Week? Because can you imagine a better show for sweeps if you're in television entertainment?
Right.
The death of Bernie Sanders live from New York. It's Bernie dies.
Right.
And then he can finish out the campaign like Weekend at Bernie style.
Absolutely, yeah. Well,
dude, and we know if he dies, he'll win on the ballot in Pennsylvania and Nevada. They've already proven they like dead candidates.
Yep. Yeah.
So, just saying.
So anyways, dude, how about this, man? 2 earthquakes in the Middle East. 7.8 and 7.5, man. That's they're saying that it's more than 3,000 people have been killed, and I've seen some video over there of the buildings just collapsing, like an apartment building. The whole thing just collapsed, like the Twin Towers on 9/11, dude. And there's people inside. Well, okay,
so here's the thing. Like, I know you've been some places internationally. I know you've been to the Middle East because you're in the military, but I'm sure you were a little busy making sure you stay alive to pay attention to their construction.
No. I saw the construction, and I wasn't surprised with seeing these buildings fall like they did.
Yeah, like minimal rebar, no double reinforcement, like single
building codes like we do.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen people in Iraq living in just like cinder block huts that really weren't put together very well, if you catch my meaning.
Dude, in the Philippines, if your house is made of cinder block, you're doing pretty good because you're not in a bamboo hut.
So you're like,
I'm not knocking. I mean,
you're like the third little piggy.
Like I say this all the time. People in America do not understand how good we have it. 90% of the world lives in buildings that would be condemned if they were in the United States.
Oh yeah, I absolutely know how good we have it.
So
I absolutely know how much I take advantage of it, which is, I mean, we all do, but
yeah. So as an American, if you want to understand how the third world lives, go to Texas and drive along from El Paso to Brownsville, or I guess it kind of cuts over and goes towards San Antonio. Just follow the Old Mission Trail. Okay, so all along the U.S. side of the border, there are all these little towns of illegal immigrants that have kind of popped up, and they're living in houses built out of repurposed pallets, repurposed crates, like repurposed, like you get what I'm saying? Like, there were houses that were like made of wood but had a tarp for a door. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the only thing I ever saw crazier than that was when I was in Georgia right after the Russia invasion. Like there were literally buildings that like half the building was blown off, but like 75% of the people's apartments were still there. So they just put up blankets for the exterior wall and kept living there.
Right.
That's crazy to me. Could you imagine?
That is crazy. But to them, it's probably like fucking...
Dude, what's the option? Live on the street?
Well, no, compared to what they were in before, it was probably a step up.
No. I'm saying that they stay living in their apartments that were blown up by the Russians.
Oh, dude, I got lost there. Sorry, I thought we were still talking about the border bullshit.
No.
Okay.
I'm talking about when I was in Georgia. That was the one place I saw crazier shit than that was when I was in Georgia. Right. But like, I mean, in Africa, like they still make mud huts because it's cheap and easy. Like all you need to do is like secure a piece of land that nobody's going to kill you over, and you can build your house. You know what I mean?
Right. And usually they like live in. Well, I mean, I guess in the tribal communities, that's totally different.
Like the cities are different. I'm talking about how common people live in those places. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most people in our country live in stick and brick houses, right?
Brick and mortar type.
Yeah. Well, and I say stick because a lot of them are just wood houses too.
Right. No, I got what you were saying.
So, but
well, that's like these shops that come up, that are like, oh, I got a brick and mortar shop, so I'm not doing it online. Well,
yeah.
Your shop isn't made out of brick and mortar. It could be made out of wood and
right. But like 70% of the population of Russia, for example, literally lives in high-rise concrete prefabbed apartment buildings. Like, dude, I gotta watch when I lived in Moscow. I gotta watch how they construct the buildings, and it's freaking awesome, dude. It's almost like Legos because they literally the rebar's already through the plates, and they bring in these big concrete plates and just put them into place and like mortar the joints like you would if you're doing bricklaying, and they're like drop, and so they build the like first level, and then like they pour the floor for in between the floors, and then they start stacking on the next one. So it's actually I'd say it's more like Lincoln logs, because you just kind of stack them and they notch together. That's how they build those giant Soviet style block houses. And you know what I noticed? They're starting to construct shit like that here in the US. Like I'm watching a lot of these high rise or the medium rise apartments and medium rise condos going up, and they're using like Soviet style construction, which is fast and it's cheap, but it's just hilarious to me that we're like catching up to the 1950s Soviet technology.
Right. Right on. Well, I feel for the people over in Turkey and Syria. That really sucks. China is accusing us of indiscriminate use of force for shooting down their stupid balloon. Let's see what else. Record amount of Americans say they're worse off today than when Biden took office.
I want to say it's something like 1,253 different boats that have been attacked or impounded in the last 2 years by Chinese in international water. This balloon crossed our territory. We had no obligation to even let it get to our airspace. The minute it entered our economic zone, we had every right to shoot it down if the Chinese government didn't do something to make it change course.
Right.
Do you remember when we had that thing with the spy plane? It was still in international airspace, and they bumped it and then forced it down and then held the people prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
That was a violation of international law. Shooting down a balloon in your airspace after it just crisscrossed your entire country, no violation.
Nope.
So, but yeah, you know what? Before we wrap up, everybody make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, send us your comments. We always watch them. But I will say, like, I mean, it is a horrible thing going on over there in Turkey. I wish the people the best. And I mean, it's horrible that it's a tragedy, but what you are going to see is you're going to be seeing Christian organizations and Muslim organizations working together to just help people. So the one nice thing about tragedy is it does help bring people together, and they're going to get support from all over the world, both friends and friends and adversaries. So, like I mean, it's too late to hope for no more casualties, because like the casualty level is pretty much set. But I just hope that the world's able to come together and help them out despite all the differences that we got going on. And hopefully that kind of serves as a reminder to dipshits in power like Biden and Putin and Zelensky and all these other clowns that we're all here for a very short period of time.
Yeah, very short. It might seem like a long time when you're a kid growing up, but man, I'm looking back now and I'm like, good night. Where did the time go?
Yeah.
Just 11 years ago, I had my first baby resting in my arms, and now she's up telling me to go F myself. I'm like, what? Where are you getting this? Where are you getting this language? Oh, shoot.
Karma.
Me. God damn. So, no, but yeah. Everybody's going to come together and help them. But how long do you think it takes before the Biden administration starts to blame this on climate change?
He hasn't yet.
As far as I know, I mean, I would imagine the Daily Wire would say something.
Well, earthquakes are kind of hard to blame on climate change. I don't know how they pull that one off.
Well, it's the heat, it's the heat causing the Earth's crust to melt a little bit, causing tectonic plates to shift. I'm giving them ideas.
Well, I would actually say that like this, whatever it's called, like the Barrington Minimum or whatever that it's going through right now, probably actually like changes. So like the magnetic field of the sun and the activity of the sun does actually have direct correlation to like the churning of the liquid iron at the center of the earth. So yeah, I actually think what we're seeing is climate change is actually linked, but it's because the quote unquote climate change is being caused by changes in the magnetic field because of the changes in the solar activity.
Beam me up, Scotty.
So yeah, so maybe there's an argument to be made, but again, how do we crank the activity up on the sun to a normal level and then keep it there?
Good luck.
Yeah, so I think we haven't even figured out how to collect the sun's energy that comes to this planet. And even when we do, like, that we're creating deserts everywhere there's solar farms, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't, and, the liquefaction or the, like the cooling of the mantle is being caused by our, like, solar power too, because it traps all that heat as ambient air temperature instead of it being dissipated into the ground and going further down and into the mantle and all that. Yeah.
So this whole Green New Deal is gonna just screw us.
Oh, yeah, like it's all bad. It's all based on bad science.
Zero carbon emissions.
Yeah, and I will say they try and make the argument that 97% of scientists say, yeah, I don't care. 97% of scientists backed everything the government said they wanted them to say. So during recent global stuff,
yeah,
that we shall not name by the C name.
The government funds the scientists that are putting So, anyways, hopefully we will catch you guys tomorrow. We've streamed for an hour. We pushed it. We doubled doubled our time that we wanted to talk, but hey, we went off the rails, which is the name of the show. So like, share, subscribe. Definitely share, definitely subscribe.
And hey, love each other, even your retarded liberal neighbors.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, unless
Hey.
they're hating on you.
Dude, you remember when your kids were 5 or 6? You loved them, but they were stupid.
Oh, they still are, and I still do. Yeah, but yeah, you got a good point. So, anyway, that being said, you guys have a wonderful Monday evening. Hopefully, we will catch you back tomorrow around the same time. Obviously, if you like, subscribe, then you hit that notification bell. Anytime that we go live throughout the day or the week, you will be notified, and you can catch us. I guess we just did this today, spur of the moment. Brian was not with us; he's probably sleeping. If we can get a hold of him and have him come in on these daily ones, that would be great too. But if not, unfortunately, you guys are going to have to miss out on our resident leftist sympathizer.
So if somebody else wants to be a leftist sympathizer and join the show, shoot us a message, otrrvl@gmail.com. You guys have a great night.
Yep, we will bring you in. Have a good night, guys.